everybody, Fantasticairy here, back with another video. In this week's video, I thought it would be fun to paint a pumpkin. It's October, we're getting closer and closer to Halloween, so I felt like it really suited the theme. Starting off, I sharpened the overall shape of the pumpkin with a lighter value of yellow, very light, using lots of water. And then I'm going in here and I'm dotting in some green color, using the wet on wet technique so that things blend together naturally. Painting this pumpkin was a lot of experimentation, as I haven't painted a pumpkin in a while. I'm going to take some vibrant orange color. I'm going to let that mix in with the wet on wet technique very naturally, kind of dispersing it around the pumpkin shape. This is kind of like the first layer of the pumpkin, and then afterwards I'll go over with my darker values. Now I'm going to come in with some more saturation. Everything's still quite wet, but that works in my favor. I wasn't just going for an orangey green pumpkin, I wanted more color, which you'll see later on that I add in details. After everything dries, I have a nice composition to work with to now start adding in the details. It's very stylistic. I love how the water dries and creates these really cool textures, and I really wanted to work with that. I did add in a little bit more of a darker orange and red to blend in, and a little bit of brown in some spots. And you really have to trust the process. I wasn't sure which direction I was going to take it, but I'm glad that I stuck to it, and now I'm ready for detailing. Before I was using my 02 round brush, but now I'm going in with my 0.5, my smallest round brush, to detail in some little details. This is always the fun part. I kind of mixed a purple color with a brown and orange to get this kind of maroon look. I wanted to add a little bit of a purplish color to this pumpkin. I thought it would be interesting. Kind of lining in these veins for the stump part of the pumpkin. Playing with textures, it's always my favorite part, so I worked around where the water dried naturally to use that to my benefit, to get this really unique looking details. I'm going to go back to the pumpkin. I'm going to start detailing in a little bit more contrasted areas, just to give the shape a little bit more definition, kind of lining in the texture details of the pumpkin using that same kind of maroon purplish color. I wasn't able to grow any pumpkins this year in my garden, so I did use reference online, and deviating from that because I always make things a little bit more stylistic. Some of the parts of the picture are a little bit damp still, so I'm going to use that to my advantage and let things blend in, and I'm going to take my time and just dot in these unique looking details. Almost like this pumpkin has been sitting in the pumpkin patch. This part always brings out the image. That's why trusting the process is always very important, even if it's not something that you were picturing in your head. But it always turns out interesting if you experiment. Shaping in the grooves of the pumpkin, all the crevices, and adding in some more texture. I think my favorite part of this pumpkin is the bottom part, where the reds and the greens and the yellows and the browns kind of all mix together, creating this really cool look. I also want to make sure that I leave those lighter areas around the pumpkin, making sure that my paint isn't too thick so it's still a little bit watered down, and then I'll come in with more contrast afterwards just to detail in a little bit more. And slowly but surely, a pumpkin is starting to come together. The colors are very unique. I love the purples, the orange, and the greens together. It's very Halloween-y. So for the rest of this, I'll let you guys enjoy the final reveal with some music, and I'll see you at the end for the end result. I love how the pumpkin reflects the changing autumn color leaves around where I live. It really suits the theme. I really do wish this season would last longer. It's really special when you can paint the themes and the forest and nature during the season in which you're living currently, in the present. But that's okay, I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts. I added a little bit of grass around the pumpkin just to fill in those spaces. I did go in with a little bit more contrast afterwards and a little bit more red just to give it a little bit more pop. I think I'm going to fill this whole page with pumpkins. I feel like that's a good theme. I hope you guys are enjoying autumn where you live in the world and that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate the comments down below. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more. You can find me on the social medias and the links in the description below, as well as my print shop where you can purchase some of the artworks I've done thus far. And yeah, that about sums it up for this video, guys. Videos are every Friday, so I'll see you next Friday with a page full of pumpkins. Thank you again for watching, guys. Okay, Bye bye. See you next week.